Well, Dad, after we play the best game of our season, we end up playing one of our worst. 7-0, though.
7-0, we'll take it. Any win's a big win. I told you a couple weeks ago, just because we beat Texas, that doesn't mean we're going to beat all the other teams. Everybody's tough, and they definitely want to beat OU, right?
Uh-huh.
So no game's going to be a gimme this year. I guarantee that.
Yeah, I told you the other day we were going to a movie. Being an OU fan's like being in the mafia. You have to constantly be looking for people who are going to try and kill you.
Exactly right. They're out
maybe
to get you.
Or maybe I've just been watching too much Sopranos. I don't know.
Probably so.
But yeah, we're back. It's been 2 weeks since our last episode. But this is another episode of Days of Us Sooners, where we talk about the never-ending soap opera that is Oklahoma Sooners football. I'm your host, Britton. I'm here with my dad, my co-host, Todd. How you doing, Dad?
I'm doing well. Hi, fans.
So, you went to Florida.
Yep.
Had a good time.
Did indeed.
Got a thing on your chin there.
Yeah, got me a little sunburn.
Yeah. You surfed?
Did.
Maybe I'll put that footage for people who might want to see, or maybe not. I don't know. But we came back. You came back. We were all ready, OU football, and then turns into an unexpected thriller. I guess not. OU never makes it easy on. We never make it easy on ourselves.
We do not. That was tougher than expected. I wanted to come home, have a nice, easy blowout over UCF. I think they had already had 3 losses, and it was anything but that.
Yeah, I know. I was getting kind of worried that we would lose. I'm like, we're going to lose to a team that choked a 35-point lead to Baylor. That could kill the season right there.
They could kill the season.
But luckily it did not.
Yep, that's true. We got the win. And they had a 35-point lead, so they did something right in that game. But and I had a Fanville moment there in the third quarter, I think.
Where you were just like, oh no, we're going to lose.
Yeah, I think I told you that we were going to lose when we were down 6, and UCF had the ball. I could just see them scoring a touchdown and going up by 2 scores. And I was really nervous at that point.
Yeah, defense saved the day.
That's right. Defense saved the day.
Or at least they did most of the time. They were pulling out all their weapons on us.
At that point in the game, the defense did save the day. They kept them from scoring.
Well, except for 3 points.
Gave Gabriel a chance to get his stuff together, and the offense to get their stuff together, and they really stepped up and kept us in the game.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys commentating was like, oh yeah, they're really stopping this OU high-octane offense, and I was just kind of snickering to myself. I'm like, that might be a bit of a generous interpretation, but
we can be high-octane when Gabriel's on his game, right?
That's true, yes.
But when Gabriel's not in his game, and that running game we have is still not there. Although we had a pretty good fourth quarter, and maybe we found something. But these defenses are going to start dropping 8 people back into coverage and daring us to run. And if we can't run, then we're in trouble. So I think some of these teams may have kind of identified the weakness.
Yeah. Somehow we managed to still win that game. Despite the odds, Sooner Magic maybe.
Yeah, I'll take that. Especially there on the 2-point conversion and stopping that, and then getting the onside kick recovery. That was a little nerve-wracking. But we were down, late in the third quarter. What'd you keep telling me when I was getting a little bit nervous there?
I was trying to tell you to keep heart, and you were like, "We're gonna lose."
Yeah, you kept saying there's a lot of time, and that was
there's a lot of time left.
There was a lot of time, and we got it done.
I never stopped believing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though I was nervous there that we would lose that game. Though I was like, really? After we played that game of the season against Texas, we fall to freaking UCF.
That's
but
college
we didn't.
Football. That is college football.
But we didn't.
And
thankfully,
there's some teams that fell this week that we'll talk about a little later. So. We get ahead by 8 points, finally, And then we allow UCF to go down and score a touchdown. So the defense had held. We get up by 8, and then we don't hold. And we get up by, and then they score. So they're going for a 2-point conversion. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. What were you thinking?
I was like, crap. I really wanted to get something to eat. Because, those 11 o'clock games, I don't eat until the game's over. And I'm like, go get something to eat. And I was like, crap, I'm going to be starving. Luckily, I usually have D&D games on Saturday. I did not have it this week because, just personal stuff was getting in the way. But they stopped them, so I'm like, thank God.
Great play by Dolby to go and get the running back there. We're going to throw a double pass there.
Yeah. And
then a great job by by Woody Washington and I think it was Bowen back there that had covered the guy. So great defense there in the end to stop that play.
Yeah, we pulled another stand on the 1 yard line.
Yeah. You're talking about where we stopped him for 3 plays and then Canick does the unforgivable. Are you talking about the 2-point conversion?
No, I'm talking about the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that was a great stand there. Now, after that, you think we won the game, right? And then we've got to fend off a onside kick. Guy laid down a pretty good kick. It was a sidewinder. It was scooting across the ground. And Farouk, who's supposed to be good hands, boots it.
Yeah, I think he kind of boinked off his helmet.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was his fault, but...
And then our guy Stogner, who's kind of been a bit of a disappointment this year, comes up with the big recovery, and then we were able to win the game.
Yeah,
so.
Then I left and got the food.
Yeah.
I called Dad, and I'm like, did we blow it in some way? And he's like, no. So, there we go.
So, some highlights, I thought, and you're going to be amazed that I'm going to say this is a highlight, but
really?
We had a punting average of more than 51 yards per punt this game.
Oh.
We finally pulled Plaster out, put him where he's supposed to be, on the bench.
Yeah, you've been complaining about our punting all season so far. Yeah, he's not good.
He's been horrible.
He's not good.
They bring in a guy named Elzinga, never heard of him. He punts 51.6 yards per average per punt. That helps a lot, right?
Yes, it does.
Now, why was Plaster punting and this guy not punting? I don't know.
My guess is they were trying to give people a chance. I mean, we lost Turk. Like, all right, we're gonna get this guy on, see if he works, and then he didn't. So then they pulled in this guy.
Yep. Shout out to the Hang Time podcast. I really like that. We missed Turk a lot, but glad we found Elzinga. I hope that wasn't a one-game wonder by him. Now let's discuss the new Trace Ford in my mind on the team.
You weren't too pleased with Trace Ford anyway.
He had a pretty good game this game.
Yeah, no, he actually had a pretty good game. Yeah,
he blew the quarterback and the running back up in that one play when he came flying in and the guy was barely handing it off, and he blows the whole play up. So I thought he had a pretty decent game, and probably the best game he's had in a Crimson and Cream Sooner uniform. So pretty happy with him.
So you were talking about Schmitty?
Yes.
The other Schmitty, not
Coach Schmitty.
Not Coach Schmitty.
I'm not saying anything bad about him. I value my life.
Not great. He's been dangerous all season,
I think his job's up for grabs this week. So my question to you is, should Smitty remain on the team?
I don't know. Someone as inconsistent as that, I'd say no. But
that could be the downfall of our year right there. Him missing a field goal like that. Got to hit those. We go and hit those 2 field goals early. Well, number one, we should have scored touchdowns.
Well, yeah.
But offense was off. Schmitty comes in, can put up points. We missed both of them. Leaves UCF in the game. And then their offense gets going, and now we're in trouble.
Yeah.
If he hits those 2 field goals and then we get up by 13, the confidence, everybody's looser. I feel like we could have blown them out but he didn't do it. So, second question: should the University of Oklahoma be paying for that guy's scholarship if he can't kick kicks?
I guess not. Either he needs to get better or he should leave.
Am I going overboard on Schmitty? Schmitty, pick it up. That's why you practice every week.
I know. Yeah,
practice harder.
He should get a lot better. He shanked that field goal in OU Texas, and then just oh my gosh,
Schmitty.
Far left, then it went far right. We're like, ah,
Schmitty. Sorry, fans.
No, but
Schmitty.
yeah, no. Our special teams is just like really all over the place.
They are.
Oh my God.
Here's my advice to
Plaster
Schmitty.
Sucks. Schmitty's struggling.
Here's my advice to Schmitty.
What's your advice to Schmitty?
Go see a sports psychologist immediately. Schmitty, aim into the middle of the yellow poles. Not to the left pole and barely sneak it in. Not to the right pole and barely sneak it in. That's not the goal. Right down the middle is where we want it.
Even the ones
end over end, not a sidewinder.
Even the ones he made were kind of weird. Like it looked like the football was like going on the side. It was.
I don't know.
Just see Daddy's exasperated right now.
I'm wondering if Jimmy Stevens still has a year of eligibility left. I like Jimmy Stevens back.
Our neighbor.
But I guess we'll leave him on the team for. That's not my choice. But if it were me,
then I would definitely get onto him. Like, kick better. Stop screwing around.
Schmitty.
You know who else should stop screwing around?
Who?
Jeff Levy with that stupid play call. I was saying it again. I don't know if this is a guy.
Yeah. 1 week he's a genius. The next week he's getting too cute. So we start out our first possession. I think we have a completion, 2nd and 5. We bring Sawchuk in. Happy to see that. Can we just snap the ball to Gabriel and hand the ball to Sawchuk? No, we have to snap it to Sawchuk on the Wildcat second play of the game. I don't think the guy's ever taken a snap in an OU uniform in front of 80,
Didn't he
90.
drop it?
Yeah, he fumbles it. And then we throw a little swing pass out to him on the third play, and he drops that. So, no, Schmitty, or Levy, just run the normal offense. You don't have to be cute.
I know. I was clicking my teeth again. I'm like, I don't know if I was saying it on Facebook and Twitter. I'm like, I don't know if this is the guy. I really don't.
He doesn't have to get cute.
I know.
Run the offense.
And he always keeps running it up the middle. I'm just like, good God, just stop.
We don't have a good rushing attack right now, and I guess he's trying to establish it. But
also, we missed Anthony. That hurt us a little bit.
That does hurt. You could see that it did hurt us that we didn't have Anthony on the field. But Nicky Poo Anderson is emerging. So.
Yes.
And I think some other guys. And Farouk's got to be Farouk. He was kind of a non-factor in this game. So let's just jump into it. Let's talk offense. So Gabriel, 25 of 38, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 10 rushes, 22 yards. Doesn't seem that bad, but he was off.
Yeah, he was definitely. It was one of his off days, like last season, where he would just like I've said it before. I don't know. It's weird with Gabriel. He tends to get frazzled. Mm-hmm. Now, OU Texas, he was playing like the best quarterback his career right there. Yeah. That might be the best game of his career, if I remember right. Yeah. To quote the guy on the radio, legacy-making drive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that might be it. But
that was definitely a legacy-making drive. He loses the next week, and he's a legacy-making get-the-heck-out-of-here quarterback. So
could have blown the Heisman right there. My God. Yeah. No, I don't know if he would get the Heisman though.
No, I don't think so. He's not Heisman material. Not his best outing, and he seemed late. Seemed indecisive. Kind
of scrambling around there. Made some good runs though.
Yeah, he had a couple. Had some sacks. Just was a bad game in my opinion. Now,
yeah, no.
You hear the guys on the radio talking, "Oh, don't blame Gabriel. Don't blame Gabriel." Hey, I'm blaming Gabriel. Get your act together. Be a Heisman contender if that's what you're going to be. And Heisman contenders go out and dominate. You don't pitter-patter around with your feet and be indecisive. You find your target, you throw the ball, and you throw it to them in a position to where they can make a reception.
Also, fun fact, he's playing against his old team, UCF.
I wonder if that was the issue. I wonder if he was secretly keeping them in the game.
Cahoots, yeah.
He was in cahoots.
Probably not, but yeah.
So, not his best game. Get better, Gabriel.
Ah.
Running backs, Major had 18 rushes, 82 yards.
You always are like, cut up the field.
Yeah.
Like all
he
the
loves
time.
to run out of bounds. Every time he finds an opening, he falls down, or he's looking for the ground. Look up, break.
You're just like he's just begging to fall down. Yeah. That's what you said.
He's trying to fall down.
Record us just live reacting to the game.
I know he's an Oklahoma guy, but I'm not a big fan. I wish he would transfer to OSU. I can root for him over there.
No,
but Sawchuck.
After those couple of what do you want to call them? Mistakes.
Yeah, little
snafus.
We'll say little nerves. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, he started cutting them up there. I was
in
like,
the fourth quarter, they found something in the fourth quarter. He started being patient.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're running the football, you have to let the blocks.
It was kind of like Gray.
Yeah.
Looking like Gray there for a minute.
You have to let the blocks, take place, and you have to kind of wait on it. It's patience. You hear the great running backs. Le'Veon Bell was great at that. He would sit there and kind of stand around. You're thinking, what's he doing? Then, bam! Yeah. He's going. That's what Sawchuck was doing. He was kind of waiting.
Kennedy Brooks did that.
He was great at that. Kennedy Brooks was fantastic at that. Waiting on the blocks. P. Ryan fantastic at this. But Sawchuck, I saw something, a glimmer of hope there with Sawchuck, that he was figuring out, the timing of the whole thing. You got to wait on the blocks to execute, and then you can burst through the hole. And the 30-yard run. Now, what's he looking back at?
I know. I was like, when he started, it was kind of like that. I watched this old. I think it was Philadelphia versus the Vikings or something.
Yeah.
And he's running from a kickoff, and he's looking back, and then he gets into the end zone. Mm-hmm. He did a similar thing. I'm like, what are you doing? Get in the end zone. Yeah, Dad was just like.
You only do that. You only take a knee on the 1 yard line when there's less than a minute left and the other team's out of timeouts. There was 3 minutes left in the game, and if he doesn't score that touchdown, we lose that game.
Yeah, but he got in.
He got in. So okay. Sawchuck, you're still on the team.
I was kind of nervous of what would have happened if he didn't get in. Yeah. You would have been just screeching at the TV.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Well, I just hope that that they have found something, and it wasn't just that UCF was tired. OU's got the bigger players, hopefully stronger players, and may have worn them down. I hope it's not that. I hope they found something in the rhythm of the running game. We definitely need a strong running game to allow that passing game to develop, because, like I said earlier, these defenses and these defensive coordinators, they'll say, oh, you can't run the ball. Let's just cover everybody.
Yeah.
And then we can stuff their run, and there's nothing we can do
Also,
about
the passing game was kind of off, It was just, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he's like, every good team has just a bad game. This was just our bad game.
But luckily we got the win.
I know. We probably should have. I told you this yesterday, but I was talking to my friend Joey. Uh-huh. And he's a sports journalist, and I'm like, hey man, what'd you think of that game last week? And he's like, we probably should have lost that game.
Uh-huh. We could have easily.
I was just like, yeah.
We could have easily, but like you said, Sooner Magic pulled us through.
Something like that. I don't know what it was. And UCF, man, that quarterback, way better than I thought he would be.
Yeah, he's on a bum leg. He was out 3 games, and that may have been why they lost some of just that brace he had on his knee.
Yeah. Apparently he was toughing out a leg injury, which I'm like, Respect to that guy.
Their running back was solid.
Yeah, that dude's a maniac.
Yeah.
Like, we're usually good at stopping the running game. That dude was just just running all over us.
Some great runs. He had that big 54-yarder that he
great
broke
play
out
calling
on.
too from the.
Malzahn, I told you he came from Springdale, Arkansas, as a high school coach, but he's an offensive genius. I'd take him. Let Levy go coach UCF again. That's what I'm saying. Malzahn and on offense, and then Venables on defense. I think we're unstoppable.
I was about to say I don't know who was play calling that game, but good play calling. Like, they were throwing off our defense there. We're usually really good at stopping the running game.
That little trick play that they ran, where the
dude would just slip out and just toss it to the guy to his check down. Ridiculous.
I'm talking about that one where he ran to the left, and then Woody Washington came up and he threw it over his head, 86-yard touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Put him in a bind. Woody either has to come up and tackle the quarterback or stay back, which he needs to stay back. Somebody else would have got the quarterback for maybe a 15 or 20-yard gain.
Then he got a penalty for taunting. So
blowing a kiss at the OU, that should have been called. That should have been a penalty called back. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it was just not a good game. Weird calls, just bad play. Just wasn't our game. And somehow we pulled it out. I'm sure the UCF fans are mad. They're like, man, we should have won that game.
I'm not a big fan of wearing pink. I know Venables' wife's got breast cancer, and praying for her, but.
I think the pink is like a bad juju.
The pink may have softened us a bit. I don't know. I'm looking for any excuse other than the Sooners just had a horrible day. So, receivers, Nick Anderson.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, where's Nick Anderson?"
Every time I say that, what happens?
Just like Beetlejuice, he just comes out of nowhere and scores a touchdown.
5 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Stoops got a touchdown. It's their cover image here today.
Yeah, 7 receptions. His steady Stoops. I mean, he's going to be missed next year. But that big touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown, and just exactly what he did is exactly what I want Major to do. When you get the ball, go for the end zone. Don't be dancing around thinking about going out of bounds. Out of bounds is you're down. Going up the field, he's a big guy. I mean, attack. But, Stoops 7 for 60.
Oh, yeah, Todd wasn't in? That was a big suck.
Had a personal issue. What is he doing?
No.
Grades, slapping his girlfriend around, missed a class.
Got into a fight with the coaches. Like, what happened?
Todd, you're a walk-on. There's no reason for you to be getting suspended. You should be walking the line.
I know. That dude's a beast, though. Like, I mean, if you want a running game, like Todd, that dude's unstoppable. Or, well, maybe not unstoppable, but he is very tough to bring down.
Yeah, he's a bowling ball, but I like Sawchuk.
I know you like Sawchuk. I like Sawchuk too.
Yeah. Farouk 3 for 23, kind of non-existent in the game. Didn't have his best game, and then Gibson had 1 for 17. I want to see him getting more involved, but he seems to only get 1 or 2 targets a game. So
yeah, just not a great game all around.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I'm surprised I didn't see more on Twitter OU's overrated. But, no, we're still, people are like, OU might actually do something this season.
Well, we'll talk about some games that happened this week, and maybe that'll be the reason why that they're not saying that. So let's talk defense here. So we started off, first 4 possessions, 3 and outs. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they may not get a first down the whole game, But then we gave them some big plays. They get some confidence, and then here we go.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, there were some people who were saying the defense did good. I was like, well, I thought they were kind of on and off the whole game. Also, that had to do with UCO playing a good game. Can't say it was all defense's fault, but defense didn't help themselves. There were a couple penalties.
Yeah. Well, we have another goal line stand. 3 downs, we stopped them, and then Jaron Canick, for whatever reason, this is what I hate about the football players of these days.
Not a fan of taunting.
They have to taunt, they have to do their little dance, they have to talk schmack on every play. and he gets a taunting foul on 3rd and 1. We hold them. It's 4th down now. They're probably going to kick a field goal.
Which is ridiculous.
That gives them a 1st down on the 1-yard line, and then they immediately run in a touchdown. That's 4 points, son.
That was just dumb. I just thought that was a dumb call.
It was a perfect call. He looked down at the guy and got in his face and started on him. No, you can't do that. That's against the rules. That was a perfect call. What was dumb was what he did. You made the tackle, get back in the huddle. What am I always saying?
Get in the huddle.
Exactly. Shut up, get in the huddle. We got another play. This isn't the end of the game, okay? So that was horrible. But overall, the offense...
Or you mean the defense?
Or the defense. They held them to, 390-something yards. 5 plays.
That Venables roof defense, man. They're really...
Yeah. 5 plays. One of them an 86-yard touchdown. So now you're down to 200 yards.
Really seeing the defensive mastermind that
it's starting to come
Venables
together.
is.
Starting to come together. Discipline, though, defense. Discipline. All right, special teams. So Freeman, nice punt return. I like to see him come back. About 20, 30-yard punt return. I don't think we get anything out of it. Maybe a field goal. Back to Nzinga, whatever his name is. Solid punting. Happy there. Schmitty, disaster. Could have lost the game. So now
had to bring up Schmitty again.
So now, the special teams is a C at best, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. They're not
horrible.
Great.
So, all in all, we won the game.
By the skin of our teeth.
At the end of the year, when they say OU is 13-0, they're not going to say, but yeah, when they played UCF, they only won by 2 points. No, they're going to say 13-0. Nobody will remember this game unless we lost. So we got the win, and that's the most important thing. You got,
and also more wins than we had last year.
Oh yeah, we've already surpassed.
Yes,
we're bowl eligible.
Yes,
we got more wins than we had last year, and we're undefeated. So I'm very happy.
we're just killing it this season.
You would think by my comments that we've lost.
I know, yeah. I thought I was kind of nervous we were for a minute there. I'll be honest. We were a little edgy.
Now, could we say it's a Texas hangover? Maybe.
Well,
but that was 2 weeks ago.
And also, Texas had issues, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So I can't buy into the Texas hangover thing. Was Venables too easy on him the last couple of weeks? I don't think so.
I think it's the tale as old as time, Dad. Where I think they just got cocky, and they caused a sloppy play. Mm-hmm. You know, there's an old quote from a game I play. Overconfidence makes you careless.
Yeah, that's true. And like Bob Stoops used to say, just because you're OU doesn't mean you can just roll your helmet out on the field and everybody's going to lay down. Right? You got to go win the game. So
I know.
Now, what could have happened, I can't even believe I'm saying this, is we were looking ahead to the Kansas Jayhawks, the big game against the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, that would normally be a laugher, right?
Yeah.
But it's at Kansas. It's the number 12 rushing offense in the country. I heard...
well, they have been getting better these last couple years,
They have been getting better.
So they're no longer a laughing stock.
I know, but it's just in general, as an OU fan, you're thinking, Kansas, win. You don't even think about it. Kansas State, we're worried. Kansas, it's going to be a win. But Kansas is formidable, and I heard Venables say yesterday on his coach's show that they're number 1 in explosive plays. That means a play that's, 15, 20 yards or more. They're number 1 in the country in explosive plays. They're number 1 in the country in trickery. So they're doing the reverses and doing all those kind of plays. They're number 1 on that, and that they have they have the most formations and different setups of any team in the country. So
they're versatile, basically.
Very versatile, and Venables sounded genuinely concerned about the game. His key to the game was, if we can rush for more yards than them, we win the game. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
Because we are not number 12 in the country in running the ball. So
no, I mean, our defense is generally good at stopping the rush, though. So,
That's true.
I wouldn't. Now, I'm not saying take Kansas lightly because we saw what happened when we did take a team lightly, even though we won that game.
Now, it's at Kansas. Now, typically, a game at Kansas, there might be more OU fans in the stands than Kansas fans because Kansas fans are waiting for basketball season to start.
Yeah, but,
What do you think the crowd's going to be like this week?
They're going to be more excited than usual.
They're going to be boozed up.
They're going to be like, oh, dang it. What am I trying to think of? Mountaineers?
Oh, West Virginia, yes.
I think we're playing them at home this year.
We are at home against them, but just similar to them last year, where they were.
Though OSU beat them, and OSU's kind of going through the rocks. So I mean,
you talking about Kansas?
Yeah. So I'm not saying they're unbeatable.
They're beatable, but we're going to have to play a good game. They've got the big playability. They were throwing bombs against OSU, and they beat that same UCF team that we just barely beat. They beat them 51-22 a couple of weeks ago. So. We better be ready to have our hats on.
As our friend Mike likes to say, football is an incredibly fickle mistress.
Mm-hmm. You think that Kansas fan base is eager to snap the 18-game winning streak against OU?
Oh, I imagine.
Last time we're going to play them in the Big 12. Send us off with there you go. Put the trophy on the wall. The big game. The big elk.
We beat Oklahoma in their last year.
Big OU elk on the wall last year in the Big 12. Yeah, they're going to be fired up. So my question to you is, can we beat Kansas this week? What's your opinion?
I think we can, but don't get careless. That's all I'm saying.
What's the keys to the game? What do you think we got to do better this week?
Well, we definitely got to get our offensive play calling and all that in order. Running game especially, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel, yeah. Gabriel.
Got to step it up.
Yeah.
Got to step it up.
He's good. We promise he's good. It's just, he gets rattled too easily.
And then the defense is going to have to be at their best again this week, Another 11 o'clock start. The Big 12 is just battering us on the way out. I don't know why they're giving Texas all the breaks, but OU played 11 o'clock, half the games already?
They're probably mad at us for leaving. Is that what you said?
I would think so. So.
Hey, you're getting Dion and Colorado Buffaloes back. What do you got to complain about?
Yeah, don't be mad at us. You get Dion. That's a good trade-off, right? And the Pac-12
Dion and the Buffalo crew.
And they're getting Utah.
And they're getting Utah.
Speaking of Utah, let's talk about some other games from this week. So we got the win, right?
Thankfully, yeah. This was a week of teams just fumbling around with other teams.
Utah 34. University of Southern California Trojans 32.
I know. I'm like, no.
Last second field goal.
So we walk out of the movie, and I just look at the final score, expecting USC probably pulled it out. I look at it, 34-32, Utah. I was like, no, really? They won? Apparently they did.
Then
it's like Kansas.
What did I do when I got home?
You had recorded the game and you watched it.
I love to see Lincoln Riley lose.
Yeah, no, now everyone's kind of pulling out USC's overrated.
Oh yeah, now they are. So the tables have turned, USC. The tables have turned, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
you're being exposed.
I've always said this. I don't think Lincoln Riley is a bad coach per se, but his flaws are so apparent. Like, it's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I'll give, despite the fact he left us how he did, it would be foolish not to give him his due as a great offensive mastermind.
No doubt.
But, those flaws, man, it really, screwing around, weak defense. It's just, And
now there's rumors that he's putting out feelers into the NFL.
I've heard that.
Maybe it's not all what, and maybe living out there in California is not all what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, I texted my friend. I'm like, you think he's gonna leave? You think he's gonna leave USC for the NFL? And my friend just said, not surprised if he would.
Yeah,
but he's
already shown what he can do, right? He wants to follow Caleb Williams into the NFL. I mean,
didn't the guy
Caleb that special?
Like, so Caleb said he wants like part of the ownership. I'm like, why?
What a diva! What a diva! What other player in the history of the NFL has ever said that? No one. Who does he think he is?
I don't even think T.O. or Ocho Cinco would say something so outlandish.
Tom Brady didn't ask for ownership. What are you talking about? He's no Tom Brady. He's done nothing. He's never won a conference championship. He won a Heisman. Okay, big deal.
Like, oh Lord, yeah, no.
Under Riley, Baker Mayfield won a Heisman. Kyler Murray won a Heisman. Big Game was set runner-up. I mean, Riley's offense is
with Bob Stoops' team and on Baker's.
He was the offensive coordinator, though. So.
That's true.
So I mean, his offense is going to produce numbers that are Heisman Trophy worthy.
Maybe it's just not their year, or maybe Lincoln is gonna pull another switcheroo in the middle of the night.
Seems familiar. Remember how Riley's a little disengaged here at OU. It just seems a little weird. Oh, he took the day off at practice. Oh, he's out in California. Huh? That's weird.
I don't remember that, but I remember just all season there was just all sorts of different stuff happening. Like there was that quarterback debacle. There was the just stuff like that. Just inconsistent play. It's ridiculous.
Well, rumors like that will kill your recruiting classes. Everybody's like, oh, I don't need to play for Lincoln Riley. Oh, I'm going to go here or there. So good for them. I'm happy. Go Utes! Way to go! 34-32. I was rooting for you.
It's like how Kansas State is for us. It's like it's that monkey you can't get off your back.
Utah's got their number. Beat them twice last year. Knocked them totally out of the playoffs for this year. I mean, there's never been a team had 2 losses make the playoffs, so that's not happening. You've got Washington in the league, you got Oregon in the league. Utah's already beaten you, so USC is done. And I'm very happy to report that to our fan base. Now, Washington, Juggernaut, beat Oregon last week. Big game, right? 15-7 victory over Arizona. Arizona State was not a big name. Maybe Stanford. I can't remember who Washington played last week, but another top 10 team struggling last week. Did you imagine that?
Yeah, there were a couple games that big teams were struggling. Like I think Alabama was struggling against Tennessee and Utah, USC. Yeah, it was funny. I was walking out of the movie theater and I saw, or I think I already said this, but I saw the score and I was like, no, really? 3 times now? Oh my gosh.
Now, Washington beat Arizona State. This is a team OSU beat. Arizona State. At Arizona State. So, not a juggernaut. So, just like OU, Washington had struggles. So,
again, overconfidence makes you careless.
That's
I'm telling
right.
you.
Now, Texas playing mighty Houston Cougars, last place team in the Big 12. You think that's going to be a blowout, right?
Yeah, you might think, oh, they lost to us. They have something to prove. And Texas pulling a Texas,
Houston had the ball with time running out, driving down the
Also,
field.
Ewers got hurt. That probably hurt him.
That did hurt, and he's going to be out a few games. And that backup quarterback did not look solid. So, who knows? Texas could lose. They got BYU coming up this week. So,
and they don't slack. I mean,
and without a great without your quarterback, watch out. Things can happen.
Yeah.
Things can happen.
Yeah.
I remember back in the 80s, OU was undefeated, and a freshman by the name of Troy Aikman came in against Kansas, and we lose. So
Troy Aikman?
Yeah. Troy Aikman played for OU for 2 years.
Well, I know he did that, but and he didn't smoke Kansas?
No, he was a freshman. He was all jittery, so it can happen even to the best of quarterbacks. So I don't know this
even
backup
the legends
quarterback.
like Troy Aikman?
Yeah, I don't know who the backup quarterback is. I think it was like Malik or something like that, but he looked a little shaky in that game. So watch out, Texas, this week. And this
losing Ewers probably hurt.
Yeah. And let's just let you know, all of these Big 12 teams are out for blood on OU and Texas.
When did he get hurt though?
Who?
Ewers.
Oh, it was like late third quarter.
Oh, okay.
So they only had, another.
So I saw him in a cast. I'm like, damn, did he get hurt in practice?
He, I think he's, had a shoulder separation or something. So those usually take 3 or 4 weeks to heal. I don't know about this one, but he did not look too happy. So.
Sark's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
See, I told you, Dad. I told you they were. You beat a beaten down Alabama. Like, come on, you think that makes you the best team in the league?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
So we'll see how they do the next couple of weeks while he's out. So Alabama, like you mentioned, beat Tennessee 34-20. Ohio State in a yawner beats Penn State 20-12.
Yeah, that Penn State team was that defense looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense they just dropped a turd right there on the. They didn't do nothing.
There's 3 sides to the ball: offense, defense,
and special teams.
Special teams. You got to be good in all 3 of those if you're going to be a championship team. You can't be good in just 2 or 1. You got to be good.
You don't think we're making it to the national championship?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about any team.
Okay.
So you got Penn State, great defense, good special teams. Their offense stinks. They're not a championship caliber team. USC, great offense, good special teams, poor defense, not a championship team. You see what I'm saying?
That was always my frustration when Lincoln was here. It's like his defense is. Well, for one, he tended to turn the brakes off in the second half, which is good against a crap team. But when it's against
you do that
a team
against Arkansas State, but
okay, but like if you do it against like TCU, you're in trouble.
You can get it handed to you. That's right. Now this was the shocker of the weekend for me. Virginia 1-5 against undefeated North Carolina, coached by Mac Brown.
Our old nemesis, Mac Brown.
They've got a Heisman Trophy candidate, quarterback, last name of May, I believe. They get beat by Virginia 31-27, probably knock him out of the Heisman race. So,
this has been a chaotic season so far. You know what would be fitting if Dylan actually won and we would just be sitting there like, really? Like, him?
What do you think that statue out in Statue Village at OU would be with Dylan? You think you'd have the leis,
they put like the Hawaiian stuff on him,
Hawaiian
maybe
leis all over him. That would be his.
Yeah,
wearing the Texas golden cap.
Yeah.
FSU beats Duke. Duke's kind of out of it now. I think they're good quarterbacks down. FSU, they're beatable. I'm not too worried about them. I didn't see Georgia or anybody playing like that. So some big surprises: USC losing and North Carolina losing. So definitely big upsets there. We sneak by. So pretty good week of football.
Yep.
Let's talk about next week.
It's like 2007 all over again. It's ridiculous.
This Pac-12 are having all these big games. You never have any big games out in the Pac-12 on most seasons, but Utah versus Oregon.
Well, I think they're trying to go out in style.
It sounds like
because I've heard they're kind of splitting up the band.
Oh yeah, they're splitting up the band for sure. The band cannot be reconciled. There's differences that cannot be reconciled. So Utah versus Oregon is kind of the game of the week.
I know really?
Utah coming off a big victory over USC. Oregon loses to Washington. You think?
I think they won though. Their last, or did they not play?
They did win last week.
I'd say Oregon has that game, but I don't want to underestimate Utah. They got a strong. Or well, I was talking to another friend of mine, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Utah's kind of average." I'm like, They beat USC. They must be doing something right.
Well, I tell you, Utah is actually missing their starting quarterback from last year. Still, I don't know that he had maybe a knee operation. I don't know what's wrong with him. Cam Rising, actually a guy that had flirted with coming to OU there for a while, ended up, and then I think he flirted with going to Texas and ends up out in Utah. But he's not back. But their quarterback that they have, their backup quarterback, is playing pretty good. So I think I'm with you. I think Oregon will pull that one out, but with Utah's defense, anything can happen. So.
That's true.
And then, like I said, Texas versus BYU. I'm not sure where that's at, but
I guess that's the only team aside from Kansas, which I never thought I'd say this, but this is probably the only team aside from Kansas I'm kind of nervous about because BYU, they're not bad.
Yeah,
not at all.
They can definitely beat you when you're down, when you got a bum leg or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're missing one of your limbs, which the quarterback is a big part of the Texas offense. So that'll be a game to watch. And then Colorado is back in action this week after having a bye week, and they're playing UCLA, UCLA. Can Deion bounce back this week? Or is this going to be another win, by the UCLA or a kind of
Well, UCLA's kind of been
Yeah.
I can see Deion and the Buffaloes winning, but
of course they just lost a 29-0 halftime lead last game.
Yeah, that was that. I'm sure he was pushing his guys hard after that one.
Yeah, shine's kind of wearing off Deion.
Yeah,
prime time's just going down to time. Then you got your obligatory big SEC game, Tennessee versus Kentucky.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
Also, dang it, I was kind of sad that Tennessee didn't win that one against Alabama. I'm like, you have the perfect opportunity to beat them.
And they had him down.
I know. And then I walked in, it's like 24-20. I'm like, dang it. And he's like, hey, don't discount Saban. Darth Saban.
Black magic.
Yeah.
He can make it happen. Then there's a top 25 matchup, Duke versus Louisville. I'm kind of yawning on that one. And then Georgia, Florida. Now, you may or may not have heard about this game.
That's a rivalry game, isn't it?
It is a rivalry game. Do you know anything about the game?
I remember that Georgia smoked Florida last year.
Right. But it's played in a neutral site.
Oh.
And they split the field right straight down the middle, but the opposite way. As OU take. You know how OU in Texas is the 50-yard line?
Uh-huh.
They do it goalpost to goalpost, right down the middle. So Florida on one side, Georgia on the other. And it used to be called the largest cocktail party in America. And the woke crowd has killed that name, but that is a rivalry game and always a fun one to watch. I feel like Georgia's going to blow them out, though.
Yeah.
Any disagreements with that?
No.
Okay. Let's turn our attention to the NFL. Now, the Cowboys were off this week. I hope they've got their stuff back together. One thing that I never thought I was going to see was the Texas Rangers are in the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
So those little Red Shoe Rangers are going to be in the World Series.
There you go. I was pretty happy about that.
I'll go ahead and root for them. But the game that I was very surprised about is the Minnesota Vikings left for dead on the side of the road, 22. The 49ers, who I crowned a couple of weeks ago and said absolutely they're going to win the Super Bowl. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
17. They lose. Second loss in a row for the 49ers.
They lost a couple of their really good players, so that's hurt them.
Do they have the Summer's Curse attached to them? Is the scarlet letter of when I pick players on a fantasy league, they immediately get hurt the very next week? Is that the problem?
I don't think. I mean, they still got a strong team, but I don't know. That surprised me. I'm like, wow, Vikings really pulled the Purple People Eaters pulled one out on the 49ers. So.
No. 49ers couldn't do much. I kept thinking they were going to pull it out, but they just never could put it together, and so they get beat on was that Monday Night Football, I guess, 22-17. So big win by the Vikes. Broncos get their first big win. I thought they might be
over the Cheeseheads.
Yeah, over the Cheeseheads, 19-17. So I thought that might be.
Did you see that? Did you see that play where he where Jordan Love's looking for the guy, bounces off the dude's hands, and it goes into the other receiver's hands. I'm like, oh, man, that's all. I was watching, I watch a guy called Tom Grossi on YouTube. He's a big Packers fan. He was freaking out about it. He was like, oh, my gosh, they caught the ball.
Here was another shocker to me. The Patriots beat the Bills.
I know. What is going on with the Bills? They struggled against the Giants. The Giants are a stinker.
Yeah.
And then you go up against the Patriots and you lose.
I can't believe it, but I believe that was Belichick's 300th win as a head coach. There's only one or two NFL coaches with
that record,
300 wins. So I know one of them is Don Shula. Do you know who Don Shula is?
I've heard that name. Wasn't he with the Dolphins?
He was with the Dolphins. So let's see, coaches with 300 NFL wins.
Think even Lombardi got that?
I do not believe so. Let's see here. I hate to hold the show up, but I did not look this up. I want you to know your football here.
All right.
Good grief. George Halas.
I've never even heard of that guy.
He was a big-time coach of the Bears.
Never even heard of that guy.
Yeah, well, look him up because he is a legend. And let's see, George. I knew there was three, so it's George Halas. He had the record, and then Don Shula broke the record, and then Belichick has joined the party. So got to give it to him. He's
always been a man who's aimed for the stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so got his 300th win with a big win over the Bills. That was a inter division win there, inter-conference win. So Ravens destroy the Lions.
Yeah, no, that surprised me.
38-6.
Yeah, no, I guess that was just their bad game.
They went back to being the Lions. What happened? What's your buddy from Detroit say? Did you talk to him?
I haven't talked to him recently, but he's I'm sure he's disappointed. But I think the Lions are still good.
That's the good thing about the NFL. You can lose a game or two or three or four or five and still make the playoffs. You know, it's not like college.
Yeah, there was one team who was 9-7 and made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so they're not out of it. But 38-6, I thought they would have a better showing, but the Ravens just were on top of them and destroyed them. So, and then the Browns beat the Colts 39-38. Didn't see the game, but. Sound like a barn burner. Did you see that game at all? Anything about that game?
No, I did not. I mean, I have a soft spot for the Colts. I was a big Peyton Manning fan growing up. Yeah. But Browns, man, they're frustrating.
I wonder what Chubb's doing right now. Think he's still on the cast?
After that break?
Yeah.
Probably.
They might be suiting him up for a prosthetic leg on that one.
Yeah.
Jeez. That was horrific. And then
I heard, like, they even were like, bro, this was so messed up, we're not even going to show it on the show here. And then you heard the crowd go, ooh!
That looked nasty. And then the Falcons beat our beloved Baker 16-13.
Yeah, I know, that was a weird one.
Yeah,
Falcons are starting to pop back, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're okay. Baker couldn't put it together against the Falcons, so... Anyway, some big upsets in the NFL, in my opinion. Next week, our Cowboys are back in business against the Los Angeles Rams. We got that game. Matthew Stafford, quarterback for the Rams.
Well, I don't know what the Rams, but I think we got it. Okay. Rams are kind of down.
Mm-hmm. And then Baker and the Buccaneers are playing the Bills. You think the Bills are going to be a little upset after the loss?
Oh, I'm sure they were pretty mad after Jets, and then they kind of regressed back to screwing around.
Well, maybe Baker can pull off another upset. And then a game before the season starts, you're thinking this is the game of the week in week, what is this, 7 or 8 in the NFL. 49ers, Bengals. Bengals have kind of been a disappointment this year, right?
I know. I think they lost Chase, and that's really been biting them.
I think he might be back, though. So.
Oh.
I don't know.
They might be making a comeback. I don't know. Like you said, NFL, you can kind of
They lost Piron, which I don't know if that was a big loss. They still got
Mixon.
Joe Mixon, yeah. So we'll see how that one turns out. But, before the season, you would have thought that would have been a matchup of potential Super Bowl contenders. So we'll see how that works out. So anyway, good week of football this week. We did go see a cool movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed a little bit of football later in the evening, but I did tape it and go ahead and stay up till like 2 in the morning to watch that. Watch the Trojans lose. I'll always do that.
Yeah, we're 7-0, man.
7-0. Big game this week. I hate, Kansas. You don't usually say that, but big game this week, and then next week, Bedlam. That nasty looking orange.
All the teams that we go up against, our big rivals, are both orange.
Those kids across the street come over here in orange here in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to burn their shirts. Buy some new wardrobes. So.
Well, I need to go to the bathroom, but this has been fun.
All right. I've enjoyed it. So, on to next week. Let's keep going. 8-0, baby. Let's get it.
Go Sooners, go. This has been another episode of Days of Us Sooners.
Babasuda!
Until next time.